This is the busiest weekend of earnings season, and we're getting 4 out of the 7 Mag 7s. So it's going to be a wild ride. Make sure you are watching all of my videos this week. There's going to be this one that's on the Mag 7 stocks, and then just hot charts. And it was hard to pick out of all the companies reporting this week, which are the hottest, and then a surprise earnings all-stars that have never done before, but the gold miners are on fire too, and their charts are looking quite interesting right now. So I'm doing a separate video just on the gold mining stocks. Again, you might say, oh, Tracy, that's boring, but not when you see the charts. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you're subscribed on our YouTube channel. Go to Zacks.com/YouTube to subscribe to get all of our videos over there. And you're also get the top stock picks of the week, some hot number 1 stocks that we do every week. Make sure you're subscribed. Also throughout this week and the rest of earnings season, because it will continue on after this hot week, I'm going to be tweeting out a bunch of the charts. You can find me on X. I'm on StockTwits. I'm on Blue Sky. I'll be tweeting out charts, videos, everything on all 3 platforms. So make sure you get us somewhere. And now for the main attraction in this video, the Mag 7 stocks. Which one is the best one out of the 4 that are reporting this week? I know the answer. Do you? Let's dive right in. Okay, the first one out of the gate is Apple. This one is kind of getting no love. You can see it's a number 3 here. And I'm only going to share this price consensus and surprise chart that's on our quote page because I want to take a look at what the actual earnings growth looks like too on the earnings and sales chart that's just below this. So you can see they have a great earnings surprise track record. That's these green and red arrows. We only have the one red here, and it was a small miss back in 2023. So they have been very consistent under Tim Cook at beating. That's not the issue here. The bigger issue is what's happening with the consensus. You can see the analysts were more bullish back in 2024 about this year, 2026, and even now 2027. They've come down a bit off the highs. So sloping a little bit downward and to the right, which is not the greatest, but we still see earnings growth here year over year. So that's okay. And then scrolling down, you can see at the sales and EPS growth rate chart, 5.3% expected this year, 8% next year. There's nothing wrong with single digit earnings growth, but it's what you're paying for it. And look at the forward PE over here on Apple, still at 30 times. So it's pretty expensive stock for this kind of earnings growth. And that's what's kind of holding the stock back here and why it's one of the few of the Mag 7s that's not really rebounded off those Liberation Day lows. Also, it's not a big player in AI, at least not yet. Does it have to be? We're going to find out this quarter. So that's Apple. And while it has the good earnings all-stars, it kind of breaks down on the earnings side. Okay, then let's stick with the A's, and we're going over to Amazon. Amazon, a number 1. That's not that usual for Amazon to be the number 1. In fact, more likely it's been on the more negative side, a 3, a 4, and I've even seen it a 5, especially going back to 2022. But it's got the regained number 1 ranking. And let's look at this chart. It's a nice chart since 2023. So again, 2022 was layoffs and, things just not looking real good. And that's after Jassy had just taken over, a lot of earnings misses, but they've turned it around. They have beat 10 quarters in a row now. And look at these earnings. A little more up and to the right, still has earnings growth. But what does that translate to down here? 13.6% for this year, quite a strong number, and then 15.9% for 2026. Now, Amazon has never been cheap. It's trading now at 36 times, but On a historic basis, it's actually one of the cheaper PEs for Amazon. Its PE has kind of normalized over the years. People are no longer paying 80, 90 times earnings and hoping for the best during earnings season. So this is quite the turnaround. They are big in the AI play, and they're building those data centers. They're spending a lot of money, and they're also involved in the back end of the chips, the cooling, and the racks, things like that. They're kind of becoming a one-stop shop for themselves on the data center side. So this is a key one to watch. I own it in my own personal portfolio, but it's still not the best of these Mag 7s. So let's keep going. We're going to the M's now with Meta Platforms. It too is a Zacks number one, not usual for these big cap stocks. Scrolling down, you can see again, another great earnings track record. Also starting in 2023, that's not a surprise as the Mag 7s all had difficulties in 2022. But it too has turned it around 10 quarters in a row as well, busting out to new highs. Look at the earnings. We are seeing earnings growth here, but a little more, the lines are a little closer, so not quite as strong earnings growth. And analysts were a little more bullish at the beginning of 2025, and they've come down a bit. Maybe that's due to AI spending, which is tremendous with Meta right now. But you can see 7.8% and then 10.1 for 2026. So it is single digits. You're getting it a little cheaper than you would with Apple with the single digits at 27 times. That's still not cheap, but it's not quite as stretched as some of the others. So this is an AI story as well, and they're spending big on the AI revolution. Will it pay off? Will these shares continue to go higher? We'll see. But then I'm going to wrap it up with the stock that is the best out of these four. Microsoft, it's a number two, so it doesn't have quite a good rank, but take a look at its earnings chart. As an all-star, just the one miss in 2022. So while everybody was having a lot more difficulty here in 2022, not quite as much, at least on the earnings miss or beat side of things for Microsoft. Still had the shares decline as earnings did decline in this period. We had the layoffs like with everyone else. Then we had OpenAI, ChatGPT here in 2023. We had last year where it was kind of consolidating, maybe on a valuation basis, but we're busting out again here in 2025. And you can see a lot more earnings growth here year over year, with 2027 looking really bullish. Scrolling down, we can see 13.1 for this year, 11.8 for next year. These are hard numbers to achieve after it did do the single digits in 2023. So this is going to be an interesting story. Yes, it's expensive, 34 times on a PE basis, but you do at least have double-digit earnings growth there with Microsoft. I own it in my own personal portfolio. This is the best of the Mag 7 charts this week. Sorry, Meta, but it is. But all four are going to be on the radar as they report, and we'll be covering everything that goes on with them here at Zacks. I'm sure I'll be tweeting out some more charts, some more info from their conference calls. Always like to look at how much cash they have on hand now, especially as they are spending so much. Will they raise CapEx like Alphabet did? We'll see. But these are hot charts. I've got more coming, so make sure you tune in to the next video to see what else is happening this week. A lot is going on. I'll see you then.